My village people, not be small thing o. Kenneth Okonkwo don come out o. He don come blast Soludo as a blast and gbas based on wetin Soludo talk about Peter Obi. Now Kenneth Okonkwo don come, don blast. I remember say Kenneth Okonkwo dey the Labour Party. Come blast Soludo. He say Soludo sef no even get respect for his own APGA presidential candidate. Say Soludo just dey talk about the two major parties wey don dey on board before, PDP and APC. So now Kenneth Okonkwo don blast Soludo. He even talk say Soludo no get respect of the president wey put am for chair that time as the CBN governor. He blast am well o. Make una watch the video. Una drop una comment based on wetin una hear.
Much earlier on, the letter, also the pronouncements of the Anambra State Governor, Chukwuemeka Charles Soludo, that was on Monday, and that letter has indeed been generating a lot of heat and a lot of discussions in the public space, in the conventional media, in the social media, and of course in beer parlors as well. The governor of Anambra State, Charles Chukwuma Soludo, did say that the presidential candidate of the Labour Party, and that's talking about Peter Obi, does not stand a chance of winning the 2023 elections, and that he is playing a game which maybe only some of them are aware of. Well, we have joining us in the studio Mr. Kenneth Okonkwo, who is the spokesperson of the Labour Party's Obi Dati Presidential Campaign Organization. He's right here in the studio, and we will be getting some responses from him on this development. Thank you so much, Dr. Okonkwo, for joining us.
Yeah, thank you very much, and thank you viewers at home for joining us.
Right. So within the time we have with us, we need to look at the issues very squarely. It's not unusual during politicking and campaigns like this for things like this to float around. Of course, accusations, counter-accusations, allegations, and counter-allegations, and all of that. But it does appear that when some of these things are said, some people don't take them with the kind of big heart that politicians should display. And that has been the pattern since the ban on campaigns were lifted from almost every quarter. This particular one is coming from the governor of Obi's home state. And some of you have not taken kindly to it. Why is that so?
Well, I want to start this discussion by what Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala said. She's the President Director General of World Trade Organization, and as such, she's an authority. She said there is definitely an issue of character with Professor Charles Soludo in his desperate search for power and relevance in Nigeria. And Nigerians should beware of so-called intellectuals without character, without wisdom, because they are desperate to search for power and relevance.
Is Soludo still desperately searching for power? What kind of power will he
Very well. And Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala said such combination of lack of character and wisdom is fatal. If he's not searching for power, why? What is the wisdom in you attacking a man who did not attack you? If he's not searching for power, what is the wisdom in talking about a governor that did not hand over power to you, that you stayed 8 years before coming in?
What is the wisdom?
What is the wisdom?
Government is a continuum.
Good. It is like voting LP into power
We are still
on the presidential candidate, assuming he wins in power, and he will start referring to what PDP did 8 years ago.
Yeah, we're
without
still talking
going
about
to what
Obasanjo
APC
today.
did.
We are still talking about Obasanjo today.
Good. We are talking about Obasanjo, not in the context of Charles Soludo, talking about a professor of economics saying that investment means nothing. Let us go into the issue of the letter he wrote. First of all, I'm sorry to say it, that the professor displayed loquacity. You know, he was very rich in loquacity, but very poor in content. It was about 25 paragraphs in the letter. The first 13 paragraphs, by his own admission, he was perambulating and saying things not connected with what he wanted to say. In the 14th paragraph, he now said, let me come to the substance of the issue. 14th paragraph in his own letter. And he used only 3 paragraphs to talk about investment. And in that investment, he still said nothing, because he did not say the investment was not there. You know what he said? Rather than saying what was wrong in investment, he started praising his own investment. He said the foreign reserves, when he was there, he grew it from $10 billion to $65 billion. And out of it, $12 billion was used to settle external debt. This is the same man that is saying investment means nothing. And this is the same man eulogizing his own investment. You can't approbate and reprobate. That is where it is lack of wisdom and lack of character. That is why the whole essence of his letter is political, witch hunting, envious and jealous. Nothing at all.
Dr. Okonkwo,
whatsoever.
Dr. Okonkwo, let me ask you this question.
Proceed.
Are you and other supporters of the presidential candidate of the Labour Party not also guilty of the things you accuse Soludo of doing? The language of conversation,
yes,
particularly in social media, over the last couple of weeks and months, has been that of abuse, harassment, and bullying of those who do not share your position. You don't expect every Nigerian to share your position, do you?
Well and good. You just say social media. Who is in social media? Social is society. The way society decides to govern itself.
Not just on social media, even on conventional media such as this.
That is what I am saying. I am presenting the facts as they are. I just told you what Professor Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala said. I just told you what Professor Charles Soludo said in his own letter. And if I may proceed, in the issue of investment, you know what Governor Darius Ishaku said?
No, you have not responded to my question.
I have responded to it. I said that social media is organized by the society. Nobody has a hand in it.
Individuals do.
Yes.
Individuals are the ones who are using the social media as a platform
God bless
to abuse, to harass, and to bully.
If anybody bullies you, harasses you, you go to court and secure your order against the person for defamation, for libel. It is your right. It is your duty. But when somebody is saying what you said, there is justification against the law of defamation against anybody. And so you do not come to the conventional media, like Charles Soludo said, and say the investment made by His Excellency P2B amounts to nothing. And then people are reacting to it. And you are the one doubling down, reacting to people. What has P2B said since then? Nothing. Has he replied? No. And he doubled down to write the, sorry to say it, the Kwashiorkor-stricken letter that is zero in content.
Again?
No.
Again,
Kwashiorkor is suffering from hunger. There is no content in that letter. And I have told you, by his own admission, he started writing about the substance of the letter in the 14th paragraph, in a 25-paragraph letter. You can read it yourself.
Okay.
But he was talking about investment, and I want to narrow in on that. Governor Darius Ishaku, when he was talking about investment in Anambra State, he said he met Obaino, and he was congratulating him for the international airport built in Anambra State. And Governor Obaino told him, sorry, it was the money saved by my predecessor that I used to build the international airport. And this is in line with what P2B has been saying. P2B said there were certain projects I wanted to do, but because of time, I saved all the money for my successor to use them and do it. And this is a confirmation of that. P2B built schools, 1,000 schools, renovated, built security. Now, let's come to Charles Soludo that wrote the letter. Now, Charles Soludo entered into governance, and the abomination that causes dissolution started happening in Anambra State. For the first time, a member of the House of Assembly was beheaded, and his head hung on a tree for days. It has never happened. You saw how a young Hausa man and his family The wife was killed and before children beheaded in Charles Soludo's government within 6 months. This is a man who has failed in security. This is a man who has failed in everything. Ifeanyi Uba, his convoy was attacked, a political opponent to Charles Soludo, 10 persons killed. Now, compared with His Excellency Peter Obi, when he came in.
Dr. Okonkwo,
good.
Let me bring you back to the...
But this is the man, just trying to confirm what just Ngozi Wala said, that this is the man that is lacking in wisdom and in character.
Anybody can say anything. I'm sure that if
she proved it.
I'm sure that if you want to quote what people say, many people would have said even worse things about Obi.
Do I tell you? Okay.
Yes, but let me
because we should go into what he did as a CBN governor.
Let me bring
which is out there for people to see.
Let me bring you back to this, which has to do with the fact that the governor says he's been harassed because he's perceived not to be a supporter of Peter Obi, who comes from his state. Now, the question to ask is, Peter Obi is of the Labour Party. Your candidate is a member of the Labour Party, and the governor is a member of ABGA. Were you people really expecting him to abandon his party and his party's candidate, because the ABGA has a presidential candidate, and throw his weight behind the presidential candidate of another party?
Good. The sorry state of what Charles Soludo is doing and what he has done, I wish he's even supporting the presidential candidate of his own party. In his own letter, he said that it is the two candidates that Igbo people should be negotiating with, not even the presidential candidate of his own party. So you can imagine the disrespect that he has for his own presidential candidate. That's why I'm saying this is a man that's lacking in wisdom and in character. What he has gone into politics to do is to search for power and relevance. And I give you an example. When he was the CBN governor, you will agree with me that in the so-called process of consolidation, all the small banks were wiped out and the big banks were allowed to stay, mistaking the fact that not every small bank is weak and not every big bank is strong. And that is why immediately he left, the taxpayers had to pay 5.67 trillion naira to clean up Soludo's messing as CBN governor. And do you know why he was booted out? He was there for only one term. He went one day to the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Yar'Adua, and he told Yar'Adua that he wants to redenominate the naira, and he has just come to give the president the courtesy because the president has no power over it. It took an Andoaka to come to television to tell him that he is wrong because section 19 and 20 gave the power to the president to determine how the currency has to be redesigned or redenominated. And such a man who is the governor of Central Bank, who does not even know what the CBN Act has said, and have gone to the president to levy distress on the president on what is not even within his power, tells you the level of his intellectuality. Okay. Despite the fact that he's claiming to be a professor of economics.
Okay.
I don't tell you that.
Dr. Okonkwo.
Yes, he was booted out after the first term. And he's going to be the first term, only one-term governor.
The pressure that is put out there right now is that every Igbo man must support the candidacy of Peter Obi. The Igbos pride themselves as Republicans.
Good.
And that means that as Republicans, you do not owe allegiance to one central authority. Are Igbos of different political persuasions not permitted to choose who they want to support, which party they want to support, or what they want to support in an election, and if they so express it? Why is there this mob mentality to attack such persons? Because it's not just Soludo now. There are people before him who have spoken out in favor of other candidates, except apart from Peter Obi, who have been so attacked. Some of them have been told, pack out of Igbo land if you are not going to support Peter Obi. Why is that happening? Is Peter Obi an Igbo candidate or a pan-Nigerian candidate?
If Peter Obi were to be an Igbo candidate, will a Soludo not be supporting him? Why I'm excited that people like Soludo are talking is because they are actually giving credence to the fact that Peter Obi is a Nigerian candidate. Now, let me first of all admit that Igbos are Republican, and we are allowed to exercise our own freedom in Igbo land to who you would choose. Soludo has never been supporting Peter Obi. Did anybody attack him? No. People are attacking his lie when he said investment amounts to nothing. When he is sitting on and enjoying the investment that His Excellency Peter Obi did, it has nothing to do with his supporting or not supporting. Now,
okay.